sheets. No. There's safety data sheets.
Skippy.
What?
Having that safety data sheet nightmare again? Afraid that you'll have to learn something new? Well, I'm here to help.
Really?
Yes, my shivering little scaredy pants friend. Safety data sheets are not something to be afraid of, but you must read them.
Really?
No, I'm lying.
Really?
Of course, really, and stop saying really.
Sorry.
Safety data sheets may be a little complicated, and I'll admit there is stuff in there only safety geeks would love. But you're gonna have to release your inner safety geek.
Really?
Yes. You know,
I am confused.
Oh, there's a shock.
Really?
What I'm gonna do is teach you, and all of the fine folks watching this, all about safety data sheets. So there's no safety data sheet related nightmares. Got that, Skippy?
I do. And actually, my name is...
Whatever. Let's get to work. We know that you don't want to read a safety data sheet, but look at it like this. Chemical labels are road signs so that you can safely use chemicals, and safety data sheets are road maps with way more detailed information. And trust me, you're gonna want it, because after this video, you are not gonna feel like safety data sheets are a nightmare. Since you're watching this program, you probably work with chemicals, and they obviously come in their own container. And every one of those containers must have a label with a whole bunch of important information. There is the name of the product, the manufacturer or supplier, the shipping name, shipping numbers, and part numbers, and the emergency phone number. The signal word and hazard statements. There's the hazards pictogram, precautionary statements, stuff like what to do in case of a fire, what kind of first aid you might need, or how to protect yourself. That label has a whole bunch of stuff on it, but there's even more information for each chemical. So, presto, change-o, lame-o, and ta-da! A safety data sheet was created for each hazardous material. Now, I always like to call the safety data sheets SDS, because, well, that's what people call them. You should have a safety data sheet for every product. It might look overwhelming at first, but again, release your inner safety geek and you will see that it's organized logically into different sections. So, finding the info you need is a piece of cake. Your company should have a safety data sheet from every manufacturer for every chemical. They are all kept on file, so if you want to look at them, you can. And it would be good if you did, because the more you know, the more you know. Let's take a closer look at one of these puppies. There are 16 sections, so pack a lunch and pay attention. Oh, and quick thought. While everyone needs to know the first 8 sections, the last 8 are for real, bona fide safety geeks. So, if you're good, you listen carefully, we'll condense the last 8 sections. Here we go. Section 1 identifies the chemical and includes the product identifier, recommended use, restrictions, name, address, and phone number of the manufacturer or importer, and the emergency phone number. Section 2 identifies all hazards regarding the chemical, real similar to the label. Now, we see the chemical classification, the signal word, hazard statements, pictograms, and precautionary statements. Now, 3 is obvious. You'll see the chemical name, the common name, and other names that you might use for it. And it also has the CAS number. That's the Chemical Abstract Service Number. If the product is a mixture, you will also see the ingredients and percentages. Oh, and just because you see mixtures and ingredients, heads up, this is not a recipe, okay? Plan something else for dinner. If you accidentally get some of this stuff on you or in you, you are going to be happy that you have this stuff in section 4, first aid measure. Whether you've inhaled, eaten, or touched a chemical, go to section 4 to find the most important symptoms or effects, and whether the effects are acute or delayed. Now, acute effects occur immediately, like burning in your eyes or in your nose. You'll notice delayed effects later, like a rash that breaks out the day after you accidentally splash some nasty stuff on your arm. Section 4 will also tell you if you should get immediate medical attention or special treatment for this particular chemical. Section 5 of the safety data sheet tells you if the product can burn or if it's affected when exposed to fire. You'll also see precautions and the right techniques and equipment you need to fight a fire with this chemical, and the chemical hazard from fire. Whew, I don't know about you, but I could use a breather.
I could use a breather.
Okay, back to work. Section 6 covers what you need to know if there is an accidental release of this chemical. Things like the personal precautions you might want to take, what protective equipment you need, and any other emergency procedures. You'll also find out what equipment you need and how to contain and clean up the mess. Section 7 is big time because you're going to handle and store this stuff, and good old Section 7 tells you how to do it safely. Now, it also tells you if this and another product are incompatible. If this product doesn't play well with others, you'll know that they should not be stored together. Section 8, the last in our must-know area, permittable exposure limits, threshold limit values, appropriate engineering controls, and your personal protective equipment. And there you have it, your top 8, and they're all super important and stuff for you to remember. You getting all this, Skippy?
Yes, you're a good teacher.
Thank you, Skips. Let's hope you guys think so too. The next 8 are important too, but I hear your inner safety geek just can't do it. Fine, here's a quick look at the rest. Section 9, physical and chemical properties. You know, what it looks like, what it smells like. As if you don't know that. Sometimes these things are so, well, duh, no kidding. Now, there are a couple of other terms you need to know. Vapor density is the weight of the chemical's vapor compared to air. If it's less than 1, the vapor rises. If it's greater than 1, the vapor sinks and concentrates at the floor. Flash point is the lowest temperature this chemical will ignite. Lower and upper explosive limits is pretty self-explanatory. If the concentration in air is higher than the upper explosive limit or lower than the lower explosive limit, then the material just ain't gonna burn. But if it's between these numbers, this puppy will burn. Isn't learning fun? One more, pH. If the pH is below 2 or above 12 and you spill some on you, you're gonna get burned and your clothes are toast. Okay, that wasn't so quick. But for the rest, buckle up. 10, chemical stability and possibility of hazardous reaction. 11, the likely route of exposure, related symptoms, the delayed, immediate, and chronic effects from short and long-term exposure. 12, ecological information, how it affects the environment. 13, disposal stuff, how to properly, safely handle and dispose of the chemical and contaminated packaging. 14, here are your special precautions to safely transport the chemical inside or outside your building. Hang in here with me. 2 more to go.
Okay.
We're happy for you. Back at it. 15, here's where you'll find the other safety, health, and environmental regulations they couldn't find space for anywhere else on the sheet. And now, finally, the last section. Section 16, the date of preparation or last revision. All this, labels, safety data sheets, your training, is part of your organization's hazard communication program. And all that means is that your company is making sure that you and your coworkers stay safe when you're handling chemicals. Cool, huh? Let's go back to the beginning. How you doing, Skippy?
Great.
Not afraid that bad old safety data sheet is gonna give you a nightmare?
Not at all.
Because?
I know this stuff.
And you know the stuff because you're a good learner.
Thank you. What was your name again?
I never said my name, but you're welcome. And once you know your stuff, it's easy to work with chemicals safely.